Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another AutoAudiography. That is the name Brandon and I, came up with for this series. I didn't have it before I did my last video on the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, but I have it this time. And this time, I'm going to tell you a little tale about a band called the Black Dahlia Murder. Okay, so Ritual by the Black Dahlia Murder. This was their third album? Fifth album? Fifth, I think. Let's go with fifth. It peaked at number 31 on the Billboard Top 200. That's about it for critical acclaim. But I'm a huge fan. So here's the front cover. Here's the back cover. And it is, the genre is death metal, I guess you want to say. Here's a sleeve with the lyrics. That's all that's on it. But the really, really cool thing about this album is the wax. I love it. Super cool. So, now in this series of videos, I told you about coming across David Bowie's album and it being like my first album. This story is a little different because it actually doesn't have to do with this album. Not really. I mean, the album itself is fantastic if you're into, like, metal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, metal. My favorite song on it is the third track. It's called On Stirring Seas of Salted Blood. When I first heard it, my initial feeling was like I was on a Viking ship in the middle of a tremendous storm, and it's just awesome. So yeah, really love this album. If you get a chance to check it out, if you're into super screamy metal and just super hard riffs and thunderous breakdowns and check it out. But the story I have with this is back before I was super into metal, I went to college. And I went to a college called Oakland University here in Michigan. And my first semester there, I had like all my classes with my, I think she was my girlfriend then, but my wife. Which, looking back in hindsight, was probably a terrible idea to set up a course schedule with someone you just met and you're not even dating yet. So it could have gone very badly, but it went very well. So, but that was the first semester. The second semester, I decided to branch out and start taking different classes that she didn't take. One of which was my American government class. Nobody I knew was taking this class, so I was on my own, basically. I did have friends that went to that college as well. But the first day walking into class, you never know, like, where you're going to sit, like, who's going to be around, are you going to be in the front of the class, are you going to be in the back of the class? You know what I mean? It's just kind of, you feel it out as you go. Well, I showed up a little bit early so I could pick my seat wherever, and sat down about halfway, just, being really, really vanilla in my choices of everything with this class. being as it's American government, you can, polar opposites in opinions sometimes. Well, I sat down and this guy comes up next to me and he's wearing just like this. I don't even remember what shirt it is, but it was like a metal band shirt and had tattoos on his arm. And I was never against that. At that time in my life, I was super into like punk rock. So tattoos and, clothing like that didn't bother me. Well, the guy comes and sits down and he asked if the seat was taken. I was like, no, go ahead, sit down. And the way the seats were, there was like a table. So we kind of like shared the same desk. Sat down and waiting for class to go, and like we're both just kind of like doodling on our papers, and he's doodling on his, and on his arm, one of his tattoos was like straight razors and other knives and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And we start talking, and he tells me his name's Trevor. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm Scott. And we just start talking about music. And we're going, and, he asks if I ever played any instruments. And I was like, oh, yeah, I play guitar. And at the time, I didn't have a band or anything. So I was like, yeah, I play guitar and sing. I'm doing the solo stuff, whatever. And he was like, oh, that's cool. And I asked him, is he in a band? He's like, yeah, I actually have a couple things going on right now. And he's like, one of them is we just started out. We're called the Black Dahlia Murder. And I was like, oh, like the Black Dahlia Murder, because I knew about it. And he was like, yeah. So we start talking, and he's like, yeah, maybe sometime if we have a show, come by and check us out. I was like, no problem. So all through this class, we sit next to each other, and we talk, we get along, and that's basically that. Now, a couple years later, I think I was at like FYE or Best Buy or something, and I'm just back when they had music sections. Go up and down the aisles, and I'd look and see, whatever. And how they have the little name plaques above the CDs and stuff, and I'm going through the B's, and I see Black Dahlia Murder. I was like, wait a second, I knew a guy that said he was in a band called Black Dahlia Murder. So I look at the album, I pick it up, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's go home and listen to this. Get in the car, open it up, look through the little booklet, the lyric sheet and stuff, and then I see the names of the band, and it says vocals by Trevor Sturdad. And I was like, holy crap, that's the guy. That's the guy I had American politics or American government with. And pop it in, and I'm just like blown away, because the way he talked is not at all the way he sings. His singing style has a huge range. He has this super deep growl, especially prevalent in this album. But he has this super high screech too, that I just was not prepared for. And in those first albums, that screech is more prevalent than the growl. So I was just like blown away. So I take that, I keep up with the band, and one day I looked him up on Facebook. I was like, just searched his name, found him, and I messaged him. I was like, hey, just want to let you know I love the music. Your band's great. I see you've had a ton of success over in Europe. Good for you. I don't know if you remember me, but we had American government together at OU. Just wanted to tell you that I've been following you, big fan. Congratulations. Talk to you later. Well, he messaged me back. He's like, I totally remember you. We used to talk. We used to draw. We used to talk about music. We used to laugh and joke about the moms that were in class. And I'm glad you like the music. Thanks for dropping me a line, and I'll talk to you later. And we've just kept kind of talking. We've kept up, and I'm not gonna say he's like a super good friend of mine, but we're definitely friendly, and it's crazy to know that I talked to him before they even put out a record. I was talking to him about his band, and it's just cool. Like so every time I look or listen to this or any of the other CDs that I have, I'm just reminded of like my first year in college, and meeting the crazy guy with the straight razor tattoos on his arm. So that's me and the Black Dahlia Murder. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really enjoying the series of videos, so you can look forward to me just doing this for a long time, because I got a lot of stories with a lot of records, and a lot more. Some are more easygoing than others. This one was definitely a highlight, a happy time video. So thanks for watching. Go check out this album, and I'll see you guys later.